Okay, here is our final video of the review. Okay, we're going to do a few more examples. Okay, now these are all about fractions. They're called quotients, right? Because fraction is division, quotient means division. So let's say I have something like this. Okay, what does this mean? This means, okay, now what happens when I have a over a is it cancels. That's a divided by a, that's 1. A divided by a, that's 1. Okay, so this becomes a to the third. Okay, and what you might notice is that 5 minus 2 is 3. So here's the rule, right? And we looked, in the first video, we looked at these rules. But the rule is this. X to the a over x to the b equals x to the a minus b, right? So I can take this exponent on the numerator and subtract the exponent on the denominator. So this is the kind of rule to reference there. Okay, but now what happens, let's say, is if I flip this over, and notice now I have 2 n's on the top and 5 n's on the bottom. Well, how does this change things? Well, notice here, I still have 2 n's on the bottom and the top cancel, but now my n to the third is left on the bottom. It looks like this. Okay, and this is the answer. Okay, but the other way of thinking about it is you were like, well, hey, I just learned this rule. So I could have done it this way. I could have said, well, if I'm going to subtract, right, the top minus the bottom, so that would be n to the 2 minus 5, and that's n to the negative third. But you know what? This n to the negative third, it's the same. Okay, why is it the same? Because here's the rule. Here's what a negative exponent actually means. Here's what it means. If I have, let's say, x to the negative a power, what does that mean? It means 1 over x to the a. Okay, and notice it's not negative over here. So here, x to the negative third becomes 1 over, n to the negative third becomes 1 over n to the positive third. Okay, x to the negative a becomes 1 over x to the positive a. And this is an a, not a 9. Okay, that is the rule. That works every time. Let's look at one more example. Let's say I have something like this. And you're like, oh, this is great. No fraction. Cool. You can totally treat it like no fraction. You know what? You can even treat it like this rule here, the first thing we talked about. What do I do here? Oh yeah, the rule. I add the exponents. So let's add these two exponents, right? I'm going to add the exponents, and I get x to the 9 plus negative 5. What does that equal? This is the same as 9 minus 5, right? Plus negative 5, same as 9 minus 5. That becomes x to the 4th. And that is absolutely the answer, and you can be done right there. Okay? If you want to think about it a little bit more strategically, right? This is the same as x to the 9th over x to the 5th. Because that x to the negative 5th, that is an x to the positive 5th just on the bottom of a fraction, right? And you can see that that is also going to lead you to x to the 4th. Okay? So you are going to go ahead and try some practice problems like this. 14, 15, let's get you all set up. 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, you're going to do 6 practice problems kind of like this.